The forest whispered secrets through ancient boughs, a lullaby Sabine knew better than her own heart. Her small cottage, nestled deep amongst the towering oaks and emerald ferns, was a sanctuary of quiet solitude. Sabine and Omega lived a life woven with threads of gentle routine and unspoken longing. Her long, flowing brown hair, often styled with a single neat braid, cascaded over the shoulders of her favorite green dress, cinched at the waist with a simple brown belt. Her expression, even in repose, held a soft, yearning quality, a reflection of the profound desire for connection that bloomed perpetually within her soul. She yearned for a mate, a partner to share the quiet beauty of her days, but Omegas in her isolated corner of the realm were rare, and trustworthy alphas even rarer. So she contented herself with tending her garden, brewing herbal tonics, and listening to the forest's endless tales. The tranquil greens, browns, and grays of her surroundings mirrored the peaceful yet somewhat muted palette of her existence. One evening, an uncharacteristic fury descended upon the woods. The wind howled like a grieving spirit, and rain lashed against the cottage's sturdy walls, a relentless drumbeat against the silence. Sabine, huddled by her hearth, stirred a pot of nourishing stew, its aroma a small comfort against the storm's growing intensity. A low, mournful sound, too close for comfort, pierced the din of the gale. Then a heavy thud shook her door. Her heart leaped, a tiny bird trapped in a cage of ribs. Fear, cold and sharp, pricked at her. Omegas were often prey, vulnerable in the wild, but another sensation, a deep primal thrumming, urged her forward. It was a sense of recognition, an ancient pull she could not explain. Cautiously, she unlatched the heavy wooden door, peering out into the rain-swept darkness. There, slumped against her threshold, was a wolf of immense size. Its fur, thick and multi-toned, was a matted mix of gray, brown, and black, with striking reddish-brown hues around its ears and a distinct white patch near its chest. Majestic, even in its current state, it was clearly injured, a deep gash marring its flank, and its ribs showed starkly beneath its sodden coat. Its eyes, the color of twilight, held a profound weariness, yet also a flicker of something ancient and intelligent that caught Sabine's breath. Her initial terror gave way to a powerful wave of compassion. This creature, magnificent and starving, was suffering. Her instincts, often a source of vulnerability, now surged with an overwhelming impulse to nurture, to protect. "Oh, you poor thing," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the storm. With more courage than she knew she possessed, she knelt beside the creature, its scent wild and earthy, yet underscored by a faint musky warmth that spoke of strength, filled her senses. It was an alpha scent, undeniably, but one so depleted it stirred her protective instincts rather than fear. Slowly, gently, she touched its wet fur. The wolf let out a soft whine, its large head resting heavily on the wood. "Come inside," she urged, her voice soft but firm. "You cannot stay out here." It took all her strength and the wolf's own weak efforts to coax him indoors. He collapsed by the hearth, groaning softly. Sabine moved swiftly, gathering cloths, a bowl of warm water, and her strongest healing salves. She worked with a calm focus, cleaning the wound, her fingers brushing against fur that felt surprisingly soft beneath its matted exterior. The wolf watched her, its twilight eyes following her every move, never once showing aggression. As she worked, she murmured comforting words, sharing her simple life with him. "It has been a long time since I had company, little friend," she confessed, pressing a poultice to his side. "The forest can be a lonely place for an Omega." She felt a strange current pass between them, a silent understanding. His scent, mingling with the wood smoke and herbs in her cottage, began to take on a comforting familiarity. It was wild, yes, but also deeply grounding, a primal anchor in her solitary world. She offered him a bowl of her stew, cooled and watered down. He drank eagerly, then licked the bowl clean, a low rumble of contentment vibrating through him. She spent hours tending to him, her hands gentle on his massive form. As the storm slowly abated outside, a fragile peace settled within the cottage. Finally, exhausted but content, Sabine prepared her own bed, a simple pallet near the hearth. The wolf, now clean and fed, settled beside it. She lay down, her gaze fixed on his powerful form. He shifted, nudging his head against her hand, a soft, warm pressure. She stroked his fur, feeling the steady thrum of life beneath her palm. It was a connection she had never known, a deep, wordless bond, forged in care and vulnerability. His breath, warm and soft, ghosted over her hand. The wild alpha scent, though still present, was now less overwhelming, softened by proximity, by care, by a strange, budding familiarity. She felt a profound sense of safety, cradled in the presence of this magnificent, injured beast. With her hand still resting on his fur, she drifted into a deep, dreamless sleep, the first truly peaceful slumber she had known in years. When Sabine awoke the next morning, the storm had passed, leaving behind a world washed clean, shimmering with newfound light. The cottage was filled with a golden glow filtering through the small window. She stretched, feeling unusually rested, a soft smile gracing her lips. She turned to check on her wolf, her heart still thrumming with the warmth of their shared night. But the wolf was gone. Instead, a man lay on the pallet where the wolf had been. Sabine gasped, scrambling back, a cry catching in her throat. Her instincts flared, a potent mix of terror and awe. This man, he was magnificent, powerful, radiating an ancient authority that made her very bones tremble. He was tall, his broad shoulders and muscular frame clearly visible beneath the simple tunic he now wore, likely conjured by the shift itself. His hair was thick, multi-toned, a mix of gray, brown, and black, with strands of reddish-brown near his ears, mirroring the wolf's fur. A faint white scar just above his chest marked the place where she had tended the deep wound. His eyes, now open and fixed upon her, were the same twilight hues of the wolf's, intelligent, ancient, and filled with an intensity that took her breath away. This was no ordinary man. This was an alpha, an apex predator, and the sheer power he exuded was almost overwhelming. He pushed himself up, his movements fluid and graceful, like a creature of the wild. He rose to his full height, his presence filling the small cottage, dwarfing everything within it. Sabine felt her omega nature respond, a deep instinctive recognition blossoming within her, both terrifying and profoundly exhilarating. "Greetings, Sabine of the woods." His voice was a deep rumble, resonating with power and a primal authority that made her shiver. "I am Guard." She could only stare, wide-eyed, her breath caught. You were the wolf," she managed to whisper, the words barely a breath. He offered a small, knowing smile, revealing strong, even teeth. I was Guard, the starving wolf. Now I am Guard, Alpha King of the northern reaches." Her eyes widened further. An Alpha King? She had sheltered royalty, a creature of immense power. Fear mingled with a strange thrill. How can this be?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. Guard took a step toward her, his scent, now unhindered by injury or wolf fur, washing over her. It was a potent mix of forest, pine, and something uniquely masculine and dominant. It was the scent of her wolf, but amplified, deepened, refined into something intoxicating, stirring a deep ache within her. "I was gravely injured, Sabine," he explained, his gaze unwavering, full of gratitude and a dawning possessiveness. "A dark magic, laid by a jealous sorcerer, forced me into my wolf form, weakened and unable to shift back until my wounds were healed and my strength returned. I was left to wander, dying. My instincts, however, led me, They drew me to a beacon, a scent unlike any other, a pure, untainted omega scent, a light in the encroaching darkness. Your scent, Sabine. He took another step, closing the distance between them. She did not retreat, rooted to the spot by a potent mix of fear and an irresistible pull. Her omega instincts, once screaming caution, were now singing a silent, ancient song of recognition, of belonging. Her own scent, sweet and inviting, bloomed around her, a silent offering. You saved me, he continued, his voice softer now, though no less commanding. You showed me kindness when all hope was lost. You nursed a dying beast, an act of selfless grace that few would undertake. He reached out a large, strong hand, his fingers gently tracing the line of her jaw. His touch sent shivers down her spine, a spark igniting a flame she hadn't known lay dormant within her. Her skin tingled where he touched her, a profound warmth spreading through her veins. I could not leave you to suffer, Sabine managed, her voice still a whisper, but gaining a fragile strength. His touch was electric, a promise of something profound and life-altering. The mate bond, a theoretical concept from ancient tales, was now a palpable force, vibrating between them, drawing them closer. His thumb stroked her cheek, his eyes delving deep into hers. That act, little Omega, has bound me to you. My wolf recognized you. My soul recognizes you. You are my mate, Sabine. It is etched into the very core of my being. Sabine felt a tear escape, tracing a warm path down her cheek. All her life she had yearned for love, for connection, for someone to truly see her. And now, this alpha king, this magnificent creature she had sheltered from a storm, claimed her. I felt something too, she confessed, her voice thick with emotion. When you were the wolf, I felt safe. I felt a connection I have never known. Guard's expression softened further, a tenderness blooming in his powerful features. He gently wiped away her tear with his thumb. My heart sings to hear it, he murmured, his voice a low, intimate caress. He took her hand in his fingers strong and warm, engulfing hers. I have ruled a kingdom, fought countless battles, but never have I encountered a spirit so pure, so brave, so utterly captivating as yours. The air in the cottage grew thick with unspoken desire, with the burgeoning power of their mate bond. Their combined scents, his wild alpha and her sweet omega, now intertwined in an intoxicating dance, filling every corner of the small room, claiming it as their own. Guard's gaze dropped to her lips, a silent question in his eyes. Sabine, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs, leaned imperceptibly closer, silently giving her consent. He responded immediately, gently pulling her into his embrace, his arms so strong and firm wrapped around her, gathering her against his hard, warm body. She felt a profound sense of coming home, of fitting perfectly into an empty space she hadn't even realized existed within her. His lips met hers, soft at first, a tender exploration. It was a kiss that tasted of forest rain and ancient promises, of desperation and profound gratitude. Sabine melted into him, her arms wrapping around his waist, holding on as if her very life depended on it. The kiss deepened, becoming more fervent, more demanding, yet still imbued with an exquisite gentleness. His scent enveloped her, intoxicating her senses, filling her with a dizzying rush of longing. He trailed kisses down her neck, finding the sensitive skin where her omega scent glands were, and she arched into his touch, a soft gasp escaping her. The bond between them intensified, a burning ache igniting deep within her, a primal need for complete union. She felt his body against hers, hard muscle against soft curves, a perfect, undeniable fit. My Sabine, he murmured against her skin, his voice rough with emotion. My mate, I have waited for you, though I did not know it was you I sought. She clung to him, her fingers tangling in his thick hair. And I for you, my king. she whispered back, her heart overflowing. He lifted her into his arms with surprising ease, carrying her to her small bed. He laid her down gently, his eyes never leaving hers, filled with reverence and a burning adoration. He shed his tunic, his powerful physique revealed, scarred from battles but magnificent. Sabine, emboldened by the mate bond and the overwhelming love radiating from him, reached out and touched his bare chest, feeling the warmth of his skin, the steady beat of his heart beneath her palm. He kissed her again, a slow, languid kiss that promised forever. Their clothes became hindrances, shed with trembling hands and whispered words of devotion. Soon they were skin to skin, their bodies pressing together, a symphony of touch and scent. Sabine gasped as his bare skin met hers, the warmth, the strength, the primal connection overwhelming her senses. He moved over her, his weight comforting, his possessiveness gentle but profound. His body sought hers with an ancient knowing, a perfect fit that made her cry out his name. He filled a void she hadn't known existed, completing her in a way she could never have imagined. Every touch, every kiss, every breath became an affirmation of their bond, of their destiny, their bodies intertwined, moving together in a dance as old as time, a union of souls and flesh that transcended mere physicality. There was no pain, only an exquisite pleasure, an overwhelming sense of belonging, of being utterly cherished and adored. She was safe, she was loved, she was finally whole, and he, her alpha king, was hers. When the first rays of the true morning sun streamed through the window, they awoke intertwined, tangled limbs and contented sighs. The mate bond hummed between them, strong and undeniable, a golden thread weaving their souls together. Sabine gazed up at Guard, her alpha king, who lay beside her, his powerful arm around her waist, a look of profound peace on his face. He truly was magnificent, a king of men and wolves, yet he looked at her with such tenderness, such devotion, that her heart swelled. He stirred, his twilight eyes opening, immediately finding hers. A slow smile spread across his face, radiating warmth and contentment. "Good morning, my queen," he rumbled, his voice still a little rough with sleep but full of love. Sabine blushed, a soft smile echoing his, "My king." He kissed her forehead, then her lips. "I must return to my kingdom," he said, the words soft, yet carrying the weight of his royal duty. "But I will not leave you, not ever again. You are my mate, Sabine, my queen. Come with me, share my throne, my life, my heart, as you have shared your hearth and your soul." Sabine's eyes welled with tears, but these were tears of joy. Her solitary life, her quiet longing, had vanished like mist in the morning sun, replaced by a radiant future she had only dared to dream of. She reached up, cupping his strong jaw. "I, my guard," she whispered, her voice firm, resolute. "I will come. My heart is yours, now and forever." The forest outside, a witness to their tale, rustled its leaves in approval, a new chapter beginning for the lone Omega and her alpha king.